welcome. I'm Henry. I'm a professional horn player, and I'm doing my warm-up. Just trying to get some notes done so that I'm ready to practice for later today. Today we're going to start with the stamp exercises that are always my go-to and my favorite. My goal is to have my lips as close together as possible before the notes even start. And then to keep that contact all the way as I go through to the low register, just focusing on changing the speed of my air, slowing it down. Engage my support, and so the two things I have to do is start from a really full tank of air, so breathe to like I'm very full, and then also to engage my abs. Sure that my lips weren't close enough before I started the very first note. I try to get this like puh sound at the front of notes. That's the lips separating, and when I get that sound, it's sort of telling me that things are working well. Alright, now stamp exercises are done. I usually go with scales next. Hello. Yeah. Do you play French horn? With my scaled exercises, one thing I want to make sure is that all of my articulations are coming out very cleanly, and that I have a lot of pitch. Oh, you're a French horn player and you're 15. Nice. Welcome. I'm a professional French horn player. I'm Henry. I've been playing for 19 years. Yeah. And one of the most important things I do in a day is warm up. It's like all my fundamentals practice for the day. Yeah, it sets me off right. I end up getting way more accurate in my playing once I found a warm up that really worked for me. I'm really not trying to go too high in the register on the horn when I first start playing, otherwise I end up doing stuff I shouldn't. My scales chromatic first, and then doing this flutter tonguing so that my support is a bit more engaged. Next grouping brighter and softer, and having a constant crescendo as I go through. Yeah, it's a really common orchestra excerpt, and I actually got to play it with an orchestra, the solo part, a few years ago. It's a great piece, and it always is slower than I want it to be. Yeah, I wanted to play through the solo way quicker, but our conductor had us play it much slower, and it was like, but I ended up using a descant for it, so a horn that had a high F side, so it came out more consistently. I'm not gonna go higher actually. I'll leave it there, and then I'll do a couple slurred scales in the low register. How many years have you been playing horn for? Next up, we got some harmonic exercises. So these are where you just keep the same fingering and you do some kind of pattern. They help like a few percent. The panels make things a little bit softer here, so that my ears aren't ringing every time I play. I guess I have 3 here and then 3 more around the room. Oh, good to see you, Kat. Welcome. How's it going? Well, then warm up with me. It's as good a time as any. Yeah, I mean, summer's good for breaks, taking breaks and like recovering for your face. But it's also a good time to like grind to get a bunch of practice done. Now lip trills. Yeah, I feel like flutter tonguing is like weight training. It's super useful for keeping the support and air really consistent, and I mean almost universally it makes me play better. Not everyone can flutter, so if you can, I feel like it's a really good tool to do a few minutes a day on different exercises to sort of like get you to the next level. And then also what you can do is chromatically outline the exercise you're going to do. So the exercise I like to do for lip trills is this. So the way I practice it is by doing a chromatic version of that, and then I can also add flutter tonguing to it. So instead of I go and then my face sort of tracks what it needs to do before without doing any big shifts from doing the intervals. By doing this chromatic, it sort of outlines the bones of the exercise without needing to do any like really big leaps. I find it helps get my face working more efficiently. It's really useful for scales, harmonic exercises like that, trills, yeah. And honestly, tricky passages, because whenever we play horn, we're not like responsible for the entire range of the instrument. You're just responsible for the range of the phrase that you're about to play. So if I'm gonna do the opening of Strauss 1, I'm only responsible for that fifth between a B flat and F. So my setup should be ideal for that. And when I track it with the chromatic stuff, it really helps with being set up for the ideal, most efficient version. So in my warm-up, I like to do a lot of chromatic stuff. Kat, what pieces are you working on? Alright, lip trills are about done. I actually have to do a couple more. In Mozart, there's a lip trill that goes from G to A, and that's one that if I don't warm up every day, I lose. Practice it chromatic, flutter tongued, and now do it chromatic and flutter tongue. on either 1 and 3 or on 1 and 2. I find that 1 and 2 is sort of a winner, at least on this horn. I used to do it on 1 and 3, but the length of tubing is sort of longer and it makes it a bit less coordinated. And I just sit a little bit longer on the A when I do a trill. What etude book are you playing out of, Cap? I like Kling. Kling's got to be probably one of my favorites. And then Maxime Alphonse is probably my all-time favorite. Koprosh is like... is good for you, but it's hard going. It's like eating boiled potatoes. Maybe a little bit of low warm-up. Maybe some fluttered low chromatic stuff could be fun. Koprosh and Shoemaker. I've never done Shoemaker. Yeah, go get Kling, and there's 6 Maxime Alphonse books. Start with 1 or 2. They're public domain, so you can go on IMSLP, find a free PDF of it. Maxime Alphonse, it's just like number 1 or 2 is for beginners, but they're already pretty hard in 1. And then 3 is really fun and challenging. 4 is very challenging. 5 is like each one is going to take you at least a week. And then 6 is like, it's only a few etudes. 6 is like, I think 10 etudes or something. Did I even start it? But they're just like 1 or 2 pages long, but incredibly technical and hard. I avoided it. I didn't want to go that far. Number 4 and 5 were really fun though. You can probably listen to Bill Bernardis. He posts some YouTube videos, and he does a lot of the Maxime Alphonse. And like he posts videos on like all etudes, and you can hear Maxime Alphonse from different books. And like, yeah, book 6 is no joke. I love Kling. Oh, a non-French hornist, and you appreciate my content. Thank you. Oh, you did Suzuki on violin. I'm a failed violinist. I played for a year or 2 when I was in elementary school, and I was horrendous. But then I found the French horn. Some arpeggios. You're an arranger? Cool. What sort of stuff are you working on now? Oh, you're a conductor. Nice. I'll do some arpeggios, maybe slurred and fluttered, and then huffed, so breath attacked. So no use of the tongue, and then I'll actually articulate it with the tongue. So slurred. Let's see if I can get more pitch in the mid register as I'm speeding it up. Oh, this is reminding me, this is sort of the same pattern as the fourth horn solo on Beethoven 9, which I have to practice for this year. Yeah. That's one of the coolest parts of the solo, honestly. So how am I going to practice that? Chromatic, fluttered, and breath attacked. So what I'm noticing is the low note is coming out a little bit spread, and I think I'm using too fast of air. As you go down, you have to slow down your air a lot. So I gotta slow down my air a bit more. You can use vowels. So what vowels would I be using for this? So I go from TEH all the way to toe by the end. So the last three will be TAWH, toe, all the way to toe. And then I think that's a crescendo down to the low note. So maybe not starting too loud, starting relaxed and sort of like a ringing mezzo piano. I'm running into the same problem. Do I need to keep the same angle of the horn and play with a brighter sound in the low register? Or more mouthpiece pressure on the bottom as I go into the really low register? It's like the last three notes, especially the articulation on the last note, I'm just not super convinced of. So that usually tells me that I'm not playing in the center of a pitch. So I'm going to check the intonation and see where it's sitting. Yeah, when I am starting the pitch, I'm aiming a bit too high, so I'll relax it a bit more. That explains probably why it sounds a bit like spread and overblown. If I slow down the air a little bit, the pitch will also sink. Yeah, even more. That sounded much better, but I think it can be relaxed even more because I was 10 cents sharp. Yeah, okay, wow. And the articulation was super solid on it that time. So, yeah, in the low register, I tend to be saggy. Generally play too flat. But this was a great discovery that it's, today I'm sharp. Frank, you've been playing trumpet for 7 years. You're starting to learn French horn, and if I have any advice on how to start, I got the same question yesterday from a trumpet player who's switching to French horn. I think I've known a lot of successful players who do both trumpet and French horn and have made the switch. So you're in good company, and I've had a lot of students be very successful switching. So I'm not sure I have any trumpet specific advice because I never played the trumpet, but I do play the French horn, and so a lot of the same values and principles that you learned on trumpet are also applicable to the French horn. So when you play higher, to speed up your air, to when you play lower, slow down your air. Those are my top pieces of advice. Warm up every day. Just practice. The more you practice, the easier it'll get, and the quicker you can master the fingerings, the easier it will get. It'll build a lot of confidence real fast. Because if you're not quite sure on the fingerings, then every time you go into like your band or orchestra practice, it's sort of a confidence destroying experience, rather than if you're super prepared and you know all of the fingerings, then it's sort of a confidence building experience. All right, I can do another harmonic exercise called the elephant. But I want to pick up more of the harmonics on the way up. So let's zero in on what's going wrong. Alright, I need to warm up a little bit more first. I'm going to do a different exercise. This one's good because it switches between slurred and articulated, and that helps coordination. I'm going to try this one flutter. That clears up a lot of problems. So I'm going to try this fluttered, slurred, and then articulated. If anyone has any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments. I always analyze my playing for the day on a scale for the whole year. Like, is this like a top 1%, top 10%, top 50% playing day for the year? Sometimes your lips just feel better than other days, and sometimes they feel much, much worse. It's pretty decent. I have no idea all the factors that go into it, but I will say that I've taken some time off and it's helped my lips heal a bit. I have some water. I had a thought. I was playing Lord of the Rings, some concerts last month. We played the soundtrack along with the movie, and I was emptying my water, and I was exhausted. This was my 6th hour of playing for the day, and I asked myself, how many more times do I think am I gonna empty all my water on the French horn in my life? I mean, I hope it's like hundreds of thousands of more times, but I was just thinking about like, that's a lot of emptying water. I guess it's a gift, but I was just really tired. I can't remember the last time I was playing a concert and there was like water in my horn. What is the flutter tonguing and exercise reveal? It basically requires your air to be way more consistent and engaged in order to keep the tongue fluttering as you do an exercise. So my support, like my abs, are way more engaged and active in the exercise, and it requires so much more air to go through the instrument. So when I do it, it's basically like going to the gym and using heavier weights so that when I go back to the original exercise, it feels way easier. So when I do an exercise like this, fluttered, slurred, and then articulated, by the time I get to the articulated version, it feels just so much easier, rather than the hardest thing I'm doing being the articulated version. It's like weight training. Sort of makes things feel a bit easier. It was a big thing that my teacher at Colburn taught. He was a really big proponent on using more air in general, but one of the ways you did that was by flutter tonguing exercises. So that's one of my go-to ways whenever I'm practicing an excerpt, is flutter tonguing it to make sure that I'm having the right amount of engaged support. Okay. I'm going to try the elephant exercise again. It's sort of, you got to play it really raucously. It sounded good on the way down, but I was having trouble going ascending on this exercise, so I'm going to try it again. It felt nice when I was really like breath attacking sort of the quarter notes a bit more, the opening 3 notes. Oh, I guess opening 2. Going into the like glissando boom crescendoing into that is really helping get more of those harmonics to come out clearly. Yeah, this exercise can really go wrong. What do I think it did? Probably my lips came apart when I did it, so if I can keep it like this. Nice. Yeah, flutter tonguing is super. I found it's like a really good tool. Not everyone actually can flutter tongue, so if you can, it's sort of like a nice exercise. Although your neighbors are gonna hate you because it's so loud. It's really good to flutter tongue louder, and it's really healthy. But it is not healthy for the ears of your neighbors. I think it might still be that my lips were too far apart. So for me, my lips get too far apart either before I even start the very first note, or it comes apart during the phrase, usually on a descent. So I have to very mindfully keep my lips close together, going like and not change how far apart they go, to keep them very close together. And then do all of the changing of the airspeed with my vowels and with my support. So let's see if I can try that again, but have my lips stay really close together. Okay, nice, success. Wait, so how many French horn players do we have in here today? Nathaniel, how long have you been playing? Hi, Hazel. Nice. How many years have you been playing for, or how many months? Oh, nice. We have a conductor in here. Be kind to your French horn players. Your fourth? Nice. You've been playing horn for 4 years. Nice. Well, any solos you're playing right now? One solo I used to play is the Gilbert Vinter Hunter's Moon. I love that piece because it had some stopped horn, some high notes, some low notes. It kind of had it all. And it's like a show piece that this British horn player used to play at like all of the conventions. How did it go? Yeah. Leroy, he wrote a bit too many offbeats for my taste, but I do like playing Sleigh Ride. Yeah. Yeah, thankfully I haven't had to do too many marches. I took off half of my summer season with the symphony, so... Nocturno, great piece. I really like Nocturno. That's one of my favorite. Franz Strauss, he was like apparently one of the greatest French horn players of his day, if not the greatest. I think he was principal of the Vienna Opera in like the 1800s, some in the like late 1800s, and he had a whole beef with Wagner. Wagner, he was a super popular composer, but not a nice guy, and this French horn player had some beef with him, but ended up being the French horn player who premiered like most of his operas. And Wagner wrote of him, like, Franz Strauss, like, I detest the man, but when the horn is to his lips, I have no problems with him. So he was apparently like just an amazing French horn player. And it's probably why his dad, Richard Strauss, thought the French horns could do as much as Richard Strauss wrote. Richard Strauss wrote some of the hardest stuff for horn. He wrote 2 French horn concertos, the first being... And it's got some really technical stuff, but I found I've been studying the Franz Strauss actually wrote a French horn concerto. I think he wrote 2 and a bunch of other French horn like showpieces and stuff. But there's a part of the Franz Strauss first horn concerto that Richard Strauss actually copied all of the pitches from. So in Dad Strauss's version, it's and then in his son's horn concerto, he wrote, which doesn't sound super similar, but when you break it down, Dad Strauss's the pitches were and the son Strauss's was. It has the same pitches. So anyways, I thought that was a cool like Easter egg that I figured out as I was studying those the last few months. Yeah, I like Franz Strauss's first horn concerto. It's super dramatic. I don't remember how it goes. Is that the second one? Oh, you sent your French horn to repair, won't get returned until end of August. Dang. I feel like I'm addicted to the French horn. Like, I gotta play it every day. Otherwise I get grumpy. So, but sometimes it's a gift to send it away and not practice and to force yourself to take a break. Okay, so I'm pretty warmed up now. I could do a little bit of high register stuff. I like doing harmonic exercises. Starting to get harder there, so I'll try doing that same one, but have my lips be closer together and start from a completely full breath. What element of you guys' playing are you most working on? Like high range, low range, soft playing, loud playing, articulation, double tonguing? For me, it's sort of been double tonguing and high range lately. High range and double tonguing for sure. Yeah, same. On that grind. Cool. We're gonna transitions, cues, and subtlety. Nice, yeah. Honestly, I haven't thought about the like the technique of conducting super thoroughly, so I have empathy for what you do. That's cool. Yeah, one of the hardest things I feel like is transitions for conductors. I worked with MTT when I was at New World Symphony, and he was super clear. I think conducting is one of those things that you just get better at as you get older, and yeah, he was incredible. It was very clear with just the motions of his hands exactly what he wanted you to do. And I did Ravel G Major's piano concerto with him, and it was very warm, inviting, and relaxing as well. I mean, it was a perilous experience in solo. That horn solo is like notoriously difficult and in the highest register of the horn, but I felt like as comfortable as I could have been. Yeah, rest in peace. Nathaniel's working on middle register stability. Nice. Also, one of my projects has to be to make sure to also work on my stability, make sure that my pitches aren't wavering as much. One thing I have to remind myself of in my warm-up is to start with the start and end a note with the same pitch the whole time. I feel like my warm-up's always almost done when I get the urge to start playing till. And the urge is here. My favorite way to practice the till solo is backwards, like that. Only the last two notes are accented. I'm pretty sure the third to last note isn't accented, so it's very hard for me to not smack the middle C. When we learned this instrument over other instruments, my brother played the oboe, which was, I heard, the hardest woodwind instrument, so I asked what was the hardest instrument overall in band, and they were like, French horn. No one's good at that. And then within like a week of me telling my brother, like, oh, I'm playing the hardest instrument, the French horn, the actual hardest instrument, I heard the Star Wars solo. We watched the movie, and my brother was like, that's a French horn. And it's cool. When I went to college, I got to study with the guy who played the solo on Star Wars for the new ones. Cool, Till's sounding good today. Good warm up. I guess the last thing I could do is I've been warming up above high C. It feels bad today, my really high register. So we'll see what is happening above high C, and then see if I can play the Star Wars solo. It doesn't actually go up to a high D in the real horn part, but the horn solo stops before the high D. But people like Scott Leger play it with the high D. It sounds great. So I'm working up my high register, although I am a professional low horn player. So I'm not expected to play that high. You got that on a triple? I don't think I do. Well, it sounds more consistent. I have a Descan horn, which is like a triple equivalent. It makes it sound more consistent and better, but I'm noticing that when I even like mouthpiece buzz up above high C, it's not as resonant and rich. All right, thanks for stopping by. So one thing you can do if you're playing like extremely high on the French horn is one of the good things about having the bell is that you can actually put your hand deeper into the bell, and it helps sort of like create the grooves for high notes. Basically, if I have no hand in the bell and I play that high, it's sort of like loosey-goosey up there. But when I put my hand in, you can hear like sort of bumps and like grooves, and it makes it a lot easier to like find the pitches. So I'm gonna try going up to the high D one more time, but have my hand deeper in the instrument. You also have to take tons of breaks when you play this high, because you only have so many attempts before you get tired. Okay, so the D sounds good, but one thing I'm struggling with is getting the slur fast enough for the solo. So to go from F to D, yeah, that's the tricky part. Maybe I'll try playing it softer. I'm also going to check my intonation, because if I end up playing like sharp on the lower pitches, then it'll just be so much harder. All right, let's see what my intonation's doing. The intonation's generally fine. I'm gonna try it. I'll try a chromatic version then now. Can I do a fluttered version of this? Fluttered in the high register is like basically impossible. Let's see. But it is really good for your playing. Yeah, okay. That much at least for the high D. And then I'll try the chromatic version one more time, and then take a break, and then try playing that again. Okay, I'm gonna empty all my water and then do a last attempt, warm down, and then call this warm-up done. How many times have I had to flutter tongue in a piece? Kind of all the time. It's an extended technique. So, I mean, I play in a professional orchestra, and oftentimes we're expected to do that for, like, more modern pieces. They'll often write for flutter tongue. But I find it's just a really helpful practice tool. I don't really... Some people can't flutter tongue. It's, like, related to rolling your R's. So, some people can't roll their R's, can't flutter tongue, and those people get by just fine. They do something called a growl. I don't really know how to do it. Yeah, you can't. It really isn't a big deal. I find it's just a helpful practice tool, and you can growl, but at all of my professional auditions, they've never expected me to flutter. So don't worry. It's like I think I'm getting like 96% of the way there to the high D, and then it just slows down just to get that last 5%. What should I do? They're two forbidden things to do. Get really tense and use a lot of mouthpiece pressure. So I avoid that at all costs, but then sometimes I'm not using enough lip tension and I'm not using enough mouthpiece pressure. So I'll try doing that one more time, but using more. And when you're in the high register, you want to make sure your top lip is vibrating constantly. So you don't want to, if you put too much mouthpiece pressure, especially on the top lip, then it'll stop vibrating completely. And you can get hurt. So... Hey, we did it. I think it needed a little bit more mouthpiece pressure or lip tension. Because it was like one of those things that my teachers all made illegal. That it's... sometimes I underdo it in terms of mouthpiece pressure. Cool. But I'm sure that they have ways of playing that's like less tense and sounds better up there. Whenever you do screaming high stuff, it's really a good idea to do a warm down. So I'm just going to do some low register scales and then call it a day. If anyone has any last questions, feel free to drop them. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a good one.